watching it live, they're not understanding what's happening, but for fucking sake of YouTube, I need to do this.
Yeah. I'll be linking this to a few people anyway, so.
I feel free. I always.
Sadly, the fiance's in work at the moment, but she, like Susie, is a fairly recent convert to Doctor Who, and she's basically been mainlining a load of David Tennant stuff and Matt Smith and everything, and she's like, basically, whenever she watches Doctor Who, she thinks of us, and it's like, oh. So,
That's how
hello,
Susie
beautiful,
feels.
I love you.
But
It gets me right in the feels.
I think it's time that we actually get to the meat of the fucking bone. Our predictions for the 50th anniversary. I know we all saw the prequel. We already discussed prequel. We already discussed the trailers. And just, Davila, I know you're dying to get out on this, but I think it's better to fucking have Susie start this one off.
Ladies first.
Susie, what is your predictions? What do you think is going to happen next Saturday on the 23rd? That's right, the 23rd.
Yeah.
On the Doctor Who 50th
Everyone's
anniversary.
going to die.
Yes. My theory is that frickin' K9's gonna be holding a globe just and looking into a globe.
Oh lord, not K9, please no. Now you've said that, he's gonna show up. Yes. But yeah, Susie.
I didn't want to give one really because I'm still catching up, so I can't really give a full prediction of what I think will happen because I don't know what's happened at the end. I don't know if it'll follow on from the what was the last one? The name of the Doctor? I've still 19 episodes to go, so I can't give an honest opinion on it. But what was it? I watched the trailer a wee while ago of it, and from what I can gather from the hints they were giving in it, I don't know if it's going to be like a big backstory of how the Doctor came to be the Doctor. That's the kind of hint they were giving in the trailer, like they were looking over all the past ones, all those incarnations, and just thinking,
why is he called the Doctor?
Yeah, this is the day I've been waiting for, the day of the Doctor, like the day where he tells the story of how he became the Doctor. That's what I gather from it. I got a more rounded opinion when I've seen all the rest of the season 6 and season 7.
Yeah, and also
But
if you
that's
put in,
what I get.
but if also you put in effect that in the prequel of the Eighth Doctor, it basically says, and also at the end of the last season, it basically says that John Hurt's version of the Doctor is the man who declared himself not the Doctor. He's the guy who shunned the name and did something horrible.
From the Night of the Doctor as well, when he's credited as the War Doctor, that I'm actually really curious about.
Well, when it comes down to the Time War is something that's New Who-ish. The Time War has been something that's been floating around since Eccleston's first episode, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is the funny thing is, anybody who watched the first episode of Doctor Who, when Eccleston first appeared, Eccleston is
living wax.
Eccleston is a fresh Doctor. He's a new Doctor because if you notice, right after they get out of that warehouse, and he gets back to Rose's apartment, he's looking for a mirror. He's looking in the mirror, going, "Okay, teeth. I got nose. I got So that means he just regenerated.
Yeah. He's never a ginger.
Yeah.
Never
I was a little pissed. I really wanted the next Doctor to be ginger.
No. What is that joke?
Okay, so everyone remembers Billie Piper being the first new companion and all that. Does anyone remember her husband, Chris Evans?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. That tosser.
Yes, he is. For those of you who aren't in the UK, Billie Piper was a teen pop singer for years before she started acting and everything, and turns out to be really good. Yeah. And she did one or two.
I knew that was Ginger Spice.
Awful songs. Almost, but not quite. And she basically married this radio DJ who was like nearly twice her age, called Chris Evans, and basically dude's a cunt. End of story. But that's why, and he's ginger. Oh yeah, he's ginger. So that's why they make the reference and everything.
Okay.
He's not just ginger, he is ridiculously ginger, as in...
Are we talking South Park ginger?
Pretty much.
So we're talking a basically piece of cellophane over a freaking skeleton with freckles.
No, he's just
Are
very...
you Googling a picture of him now?
I just
I'm not, but I'm just looking at some of the chat. Obviously, we're a little bit ahead of the chat and everything, but you know, someone's posting pictures of spider Daleks, which I think are an interesting idea. Because, like I say, I've seen some of the extended universe novels and everything, like War of the Daleks, and it's an idea, but I don't know.
But that doesn't
I mean,
work
it's
in
the
the theme
timeline.
Spider Dalek, Spider Dalek. It doesn't work.
Not as much, no. But predictions. You were saying, Susie.
Yeah, just basically, I have to go from the assumption of what I saw in the teaser trailer, and the way Matt Smith's dialogue was, I was just sitting there at the beginning going, "Oh, this is awesome," and then they got all the way through. I fucking love Matt Smith as a Doctor now. Tennant's my favorite, but Matt Smith, oh my god, he is good.
He's nailed it.
Just from his dialogue, the way it was written, it was like, you know, in these big epic speeches that you get in these kind of things, like the ones he's had before. It was just kind of the whole, okay, this is it. This is what you've been waiting for. You want to know about me? I'm gonna tell you. That's basically what I got from it. I think it's the day when you find out how the Doctor became the Doctor.
Yeah, that's the thing, because there are hints and everything, because, I mean, I know we're talking about predictions, but we can't talk about the predictions without talking about the old stuff again.
Yeah.
There's a clip of, say, the third Doctor, and he's talking to his companion at the time, and he's talking about his childhood. And that's one of the very few clips where the Doctor actually speaks about his childhood on Gallifrey. And he says he had the worst day of his life. He never says what it was about, but he goes up to this hill and there's the hermit there, this really old guy, and he just sits and, you know, he pours out his heart and soul to this guy who just looks at him and, you know, takes it all in. And then it basically, it's a story about getting perspective on life, and that's the moment where the guy who becomes the Doctor, basically, he starts thinking in that mindset. He's looking at the positive. I mean, he's in this really barren, horrible wasteland on Gallifrey, but there's this tiny little weed, and it's like when he looks at that weed, he sees this tiny spark of life against all odds, and that's how the Doctor begins, almost with that, you know, like his worldview begins. But I mean, it's a kind of obscure clip and everything, but it would be perfect if that was referenced in some way.
Yeah.
You know, because it makes perfect sense.
It does.
Hmm.
And just from what I've heard as well, like they had, oh god, what's the guy? I can never remember this guy's name, but he was Filch in the Harry Potter films, and they'd.
I forget his name too. I feel bad about that. But I'm looking forward to watching this.
Well, I just
Yeah.
a Frey now, and I don't like him.
Say again, look, but you kind of cut out then.
The late Walter Frey.
The late Walter Frey. Has he died?
No, that was the character in Game of Thrones.
I'm sorry.
Oh right.
I've only seen season 1 of Game of Thrones. I've not had time. I'm busy. I've only seen season 1. I know. I'm behind. I've not even seen a single episode of Breaking Bad. Yes, I know. I'm going to watch it.
No, Breaking
It's
Bad.
alright.
5 years time, sure, but I'll get round to it.
I don't think it's the best thing that everybody's touting, but it's a decent show.
Yeah.
It gets really fucking slow sometimes, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But Breaking Bad fucking conversation is for another show. We were talking our
I'm
predictions
sure.
for
But
The
it's
Doctor Who
yes,
50th anniversary.
predictions.
Yeah, but anyway, the guy that played Filch in Harry Potter, they've redone him as the first Doctor in some clips I've seen. So I'm wondering if they're actually going to be using him in the
I've never
50th,
seen him
or they're
play
just
a
teasing him.
respectable character. He always seems to play the scummy, grimy character.
Yeah.
So it'll
Susie,
be interesting to see him in another role.
Susie, you're talking about the guy who they're showing in the trailers and stuff playing as the very first Doctor, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he's playing
I
William
believe
Hart.
I don't know if it's aired yet. I don't think it's aired yet. I think it's airing sometime this week. But
Yeah.
I think they're actually making like a mockumentary style, like made for TV movie about the making of the original Doctor Who series.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And that's the actor who's playing the Doctor in this little biography film.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they're using. They just have them, so they're using them.
Oh, that's a shame. I would like to see them use past Doctors. I know that we know Tennant's in it as well, but it would be nice if it was just spoiler free and we just see a random second incarnation or the third incarnation. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
No, but
it's
that brings up-
they did this though very briefly in we've not got there yet. This is a thing I didn't realise it before we started. It's like there's very little I can say about the build up because you've not seen the build up yet.
I'm sorry.
We do actually see every single Doctor aside from Paul McGann, but he is his character is quickly referenced. We do see every single Doctor in the show in a particular episode that actually is the very last episode of the last series, which leads into this special. We will see every single one, and that's all I can really say without spoiling it.
Oh,
See, I've
God,
heard
I
that
wish I
rumor
watched
too.
that.
I've heard that rumor too. But here's what makes me wonder if that's actually what's going to happen. Unless we're going to get a shit ton of mini episodes this week. This 50th anniversary special is only going to be a regular aired episode. So what, 49 minutes on BBC time?
No, I think it's supposed to be like an hour and a half. So it's
Oh, they extended it. All right, so that's information
yeah.
I'm not aware of because I thought it was only supposed to be
Yeah.
like a 90-minute episode, like a normal, or an hour-long episode, like a
if
normal.
they did that, they would be murdered.
Yeah,
Especially
that
for
was the thing
50th
I had a big
anniversary.
problem with because I'm like, how are you gonna put all of this fucking information, storytell this, and do all this fucking stuff within 90 minutes, or not 90 minutes?
know
Sorry,
how-
within 60 minutes.
think
Because
that
there's
for
no
instance-
way, and this is what pissing me off was this is a story that needs to be told in full length. And if you're going to put it in a regular time frame of an episode, which is what, 49 minutes? I get confused because American series is usually 42 minutes. BBC
Yeah,
is
that's
usually
3/4 of an hour.
49 to 54.
It's because
On
we have
average,
less
yeah.
advertisement breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah.
would you fit all this information into a freaking 52-minute freaking episode?
Well,
And not to
thing
mention the
is
fact that you have to recap everything that happened previously, so everyone who's just watching this episode is up to date.
The problem is that Americans don't realize that BBC doesn't show commercials in between shows. Like they do a full run of an episode, then there's commercials, then there's adverts for what other shows are coming on BBC. We don't get the 15 minutes and then there's a commercial, and then it's just a straight through.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get
And
a
the reason for
you get a
that
you get a
is-
20-minute, you get a 5-minute news break, three minutes of commercials, and a full hour almost.
Well,
But
pretty much because it's
But I'm just saying, I'm relieved to know that there's actually an extended version of this, and it's not just going to be shoved into a freaking standardized episode format.
yeah.
Because there's no way they can do this. There is absolutely no way they could do this freaking episode in that time frame. Because there's just too much history, there's too much story, there's too much stuff that has to happen. And if they try to push it into a freaking 52-minute episode, it would literally be so fast, you wouldn't have time to process anything that's happening. It would have to be like do like a machine gun storytelling. But that's such a relief to know that they're actually going to make this an extended cut. Hopefully it is a extended cut, because I've still not heard nothing about the actual time frame on this.
Yeah.
But the question is, what is your theories? What do you think is going to happen in this freaking episode? So, DeVille, I know you've been dying to say it.
Yes.
It's your mic.
Okie dokie. The thing is, right up until the Children in Need clip, I assumed that the whole thing was going to be just the Time War. However, what we just saw with the 3D paintings and everything and all this other stuff, it's a bit unclear about what exactly is happening, and they've done that by design. What they've been very good with, especially with the Matt Smith one, is setting something up, a cliffhanger, and then following it up with something completely unexpected. Case in point, when the universe ended, it's like the very first Matt Smith season, spoiler alert, the universe ends. All universes everywhere. The episode after that, very unpredictable. All the stuff that happens there and everything, very interesting, and it's a complete left field thing. Same thing happens again when... now, Susie, you've got to the point where River Song is revealed and everything, and what her role is.
God, yeah, I was geeking out with that yesterday.
Yes.
Elsie can tell you, I came onto and was like, oh my God.
Oh, this episode, is that the girl who undoes the massive clusterfuck that almost destroys all the doctors?
No, this is somebody else. This is the Doctor's other wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is basically, River Song is proved to be the daughter of which freaking, somebody help me, companion.
Amy?
Amy's.
Yeah.
It's proved to be Amy and Roy's like daughter. But somewhere in the Doctor Who time frame, she ends up actually marrying the Doctor. So she's officially the Doctor's wife. But it's in a future timeline of what's happening in the series we're watching. So she has information that is not known to any of the other characters, and she actually can't reveal it because she knows she can screw up the time frame if she does.
Yeah. It's
So
really
she knows
'cause
something.
At the end of the day, it's about time travel.
But
They meet each other out of order.
and Susie, if you want to mute your fucking headphones now because we're going to spoilers. In the final episode, we do find out that fucking both the Doctor and River are dead at some point in history, obviously because they're somewhat human.
Yeah.
But we also
The
find
Doctors
out
are
that
human.
River actually plays a very fucking critical part to that episode. And the final kiss. So you have to wonder, will they throw her in?
I'd hope so, yeah.
Maybe is she kissing? Maybe she knows what's gonna happen with in the 50th already, and she's kissing him goodbye because she knows that she's gonna be wiped out from the time frame after this event.
Like a big reset button being hit. I don't know about that. If they do a big reset, because I just caught up with Lesbian Talk that the Amanda Hagen and the Omega did, and they had a similar thing where the worst thing they can do is just undo the Time War and everything else.
I don't think they're gonna undo it.
Taken...
I don't think they're gonna undo it.
Yeah, it would not.
I don't believe they're ever gonna undo it because according to Doctor Who mythology, they're in a time bubble.
A time lock.
They're in a time lock.
But
But
the thing is
that does not
they're in the
necessarily
middle of the time lock.
that doesn't necessarily mean that River Song as as a future companion wife of the Doctor, which we don't even know what incarnation of the Doctor she's married to.
We do.
We know
saw
she
the
loves
wedding.
fucking Matt Smith's Doctor, but we really don't know what incarnation he's going to be in.
Well, in terms of the wedding, we saw her get married to him. She gets married to him, and then she shoots him.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, and
he
supposedly
it's a whole
supposedly
other thing.
the
He
doc.
absolutely needs to die at some point.
Yeah, and
Because it's
supposedly
a fixed
also the
point in
Doctor
time
whispered
with
his
witnesses.
real name to her at the ceremony. So she's the only other person in the universe who actually knows the Doctor's real name.
Yeah.
But seeing how River Song is this future incarnation, she's somewhere above the time frame that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it possible she knows what's going to happen? She already has this information because she already been a
It's
part of
possible.
this one Doctor's time frame, and she's already heard the tale.
It is interesting. It's that the thing is with this show and the time travel and everything, the thing is with New Who, and especially Matt Smith's era, they've made it so literally anything could happen, and they are going out of their way to make it unpredictable, so you don't know where the direction, what direction it's going to take. But at the end of the day, everything fits perfectly, for the most part. So I honestly don't know how they're going to bring River into it, because at the end we'll be with you in a minute, Susie. Honest. The thing is, with the end of the current series, they go to the Doctor's grave, as in his actual dead body.
Yeah, with the
Because
with
it's
the,
like
with
the
the
one
TARDIS.
place you should never go as a time traveler is your actual grave.
Yep.
And it's like whatever regeneration it is, whoever it is down the line. And the thing is with the Time Lords, because of all the time travel they do and everything, instead of a regular body, it's his entire compressed time stream. And something happens where somebody gets into his time stream, and
By
it's
enter-
literally
by enter-
rewriting
by entering
everything he's
what-
ever done.
by basically entering the TARDIS, or
Yeah.
what's the remains of the TARDIS, which
Mm-hmm.
even though he has official body grave, his real tomb is the TARDIS basically just expanding and expanding and expanding.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool, and it's like, where else are you going to bury him but the TARDIS?
Yeah.
But so the other companion, she jumps in to save him, and she's rewriting his timeline back to the way it was. But
Oh yeah, that's the episode I was referring to.
Yes, it is, yeah. So that's the most recent one. So he goes in to save her. And so this special is, I think, instead of just the Time War, I think we're going to be seeing a load of different things. I think the Time War is like the main event. But like the thing with the museum we just saw, and I have no freaking clue what that's got to do with anything. Or whether time itself is being ripped apart because he's basically gone up his own, insert your own, what was that bloody Oozlenberg reference for the old school sitcom fans? It's a Carry On movie. But yeah,
But
he's
when it
gone up
comes
his
down,
own timeline, basically.
when it comes down to, that's a whole funny thing, is because a lot of people don't realize this when they watch Doctor Who, is that every Doctor has their own timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's all part of history, there's a timeline that each Doctor has to travel, and most of the time they cannot cross their own paths. Because unless something weird happens, they cannot actually cross their own time path. So just say like Eccleston's Doctor and frickin' Matt Smith's Doctor both go to the same day at the same time. There's a chance they're gonna bump into each other, but they're in the same time but in a different timeline. Mm-hmm. So the events that happen there consist of two different frickin' scenarios. This is what makes me wonder where John Hurt's character is going to fucking come into play. Because I think he's going to do something where it opens up a time rift. Hence, if you saw the trailer from last night on the charity drive, where Matt Smith I've seen this before when he throws his fez in.
Yeah.
I think that's an opening, a rift, a tear in the timeline that's opening it all up for everybody. Like it's because the Time War is the definitive moment in history. That is the definitive moment in time in history that everything is based on. And by opening up that fucking Pandora's box, by entering the Time War again, it just opens up their timelines all to each other. I mean, this ain't the first time. This ain't obviously ain't gonna be the first time a couple of doctors met each other.
Yeah.
David Tennant and Matt Smith being in the same episode it's awesome, but it's not the first time. I believe it first happened back in 1970. I think the 70s with the Four Doctors. And it happened again with the Three Doctors, like around mid '60s. Sorry, I'm getting my times all screwed up, but you know what episodes I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Basically they had the. I know. Basically, for one of the we can bring Susie in for this. I think,
Yes, she's fine.
I feel
She's
bad
safe.
leaving about Nicole.
I just didn't want to spoil it for her because
Okay.
she still has 19 episodes to go before she's caught up.
Okay. Well, we basically gone through with the spoilers for the end of the season. So, can you hear us, lady?
Susie.
Susie. Hello. Oh, yes. Put them in.
You're safe.
Thank God.
Yes. Okay.
Thank
But we've seen doctors before. We've seen multiple doctors appear in episodes before. We saw them I want to say late 60s, early 70s, the Four Doctors. I think it happened again in another freaking anniversary episode back in the mid to late 70s with the two or three doctors.
Yeah.
So this ain't new to have multiple doctors, but something tells me that this is something different. It's not just I have a problem I can't handle. I need to call in all of my incarnations to get help. I think this is something where the time rip has been opened and all the doctors are freaking on this same freaking level of the timeline and they all are basically interacting with each other.
Well, again, not to spoil things for Susie, but the events of the ending for the series, it implies that things are collapsing on themselves. And it's like it's a compression where different events are joining together. And it's more to do with what happened at the end of the series rather than, say, the Time War. Because the Time War is part of those events. The Time War is one of the things that we see. That's my theory, anyway.
Okay, though.
Yeah. But either way, it's going to be interesting. I'm really interested to see what this turns out to be. Although it's like, I'm not going to be at home to watch it. You know, I'm going to be at a friend's birthday, so hopefully she doesn't mind if I turn the TV on and everything and say,
You're in England. Okay, wait a second. You're in England. You have a birthday on the same day as Doctor Who.
I know.
And
I only just realised it.
You're gonna have to ask permission to put on Doctor Who. I thought if you didn't watch, I thought yes. Not watching Doctor Who in England was basically the same thing as not watching the Queen's fucking the Queen's inaugural fucking event. I thought you get tarred, feathered, and fucking beheaded for that.
Well, it's like if you watch film,
or is my freaking poor Yankees to American fucking factoids fucking wrong?
Not quite. I mean, every single British person, they went to school at Hogwarts, and when they graduate, they go to the University of Gallifrey. It's just a thing all Brits do. See, proof. But and I've got Ant Slytherin. Yay!
And by the way, I'm taking away credit for you for not wearing a bow tie tonight.
Yeah,
bow ties are cool.
They are cool. They're really cool.
Yours are cool.
I cried at the. There's 2 episodes of Doctor Who where I've actually cried at, and it was the one with Vincent Van Gogh.
Oh God, that was
that was so good.
That was.
I know Susie. We're going to Susie territory for this one, so let Susie explain this one.
Yeah.
What one?
The Vincent Van Gogh episode.
God, I just watched it the other day. It was just based. It's kind of hard to explain having just only seen it. It was they basically came and visited Vincent van Gogh, and I can't explain it. I can't.
All right, we'll give you a freaking break tonight. But Susie, you've been watching obviously all the trailers. You've been watching all the freaking prequel videos, the freaking teasers. What do you think's gonna happen next Saturday? What do you think's gonna happen on the 50th?
I already said.
Shit's gonna go down.
Shit's gonna go down. I don't accept that answer. I want to know what will be your dream episode? What would be your fantasy episode of Doctor Who?
Well, if they run into another Doc Brown.
That'd be interesting.
If
That'd be
Toby
interesting.
Stevens walks on the stage and says, "I'm the Doctor," that would make my fucking night, 'cause I wanted him to be the Doctor.
Just think about it. What if the TARDIS collides with a DeLorean? What would happen?
Awesome. I mean, it's crashed into the Titanic
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, but what
Two
would
different
that actually
Titanics.
brings up? Nicola brought up a great conversation. What would happen? What would happen if freaking the DeLorean and the TARDIS somehow crashed into each other in the time
Well,
portal?
they used different methods of time travel. I remember seeing this. This fella actually wrote, it must have been about 20 odd pages, explaining the differences in the types of time travel between the DeLorean and the TARDIS.
I
and
believe you.
It was like,
Oh.
nerd!
Bless his heart.
Okay, so a better question would be, what would
But
happen
yeah,
if?
what's worse, the fact that he wrote it or the fact that I sat and read it?
Hmm.
All right, so another better question would be, what would happen if the Doctor Who's TARDIS ended up crashing into freaking Bill and Ted's freaking phone booth?
Oh.
Could you imagine the shenanigans that would happen?
Because obviously it's a
Hey, TK,
parody and a
they're-
blatant rip-off.
Yeah. TK, there already is an epic rap battle of history between Doctor Who and Doc Brown.
Oh yeah, I remember. Dub.
There is.
Yes.
That's right, there is.
Now I remember.
I would like to see an epic rap battle of history with the Daleks.
Oh,
and
wait,
the-
Elizabeth has answered our question. When materialization
spoken.
difficulties occur, arise, say, appear at the same spot, the TARDIS tends to absorb it into its interior rooms, so to speak. In other words, the TARDIS would eat the DeLorean.
Pretty much.
So basically, Doc Brown and Marty McFly would be just cruising, waiting to go back to 1984 or 1988, whatever year it was,
Gonna go
or
back.
whatever year they decide to go to. It's like back in time. Do. Just cruising. Next thing you know, it's like bang. Where the fuck are we? Why does everything look 60s sci-fi-ish?
Is the hoverboard around yet? No. Back we go!
Now chances are they just appear in the swimming pool or something.
Like,
I
don't
loved
know.
that so
my
much.
odds would be my odds would be
The
that they
TARDIS has a
just
swimming pool?
Yeah, apparently.
yeah.
It's
It's brought up a lot, but it's never been shown. I want to see the
it
swimming
has
pool.
though. Oh well, not the swimming
It
pool,
has.
but
But they did have the splash of the swimming pool because Riversong jumped into it.
yeah.
My okay. Next question: what would the swimming pool look like? Because my
So
idea,
that's
my
something-
my theory is it looks like a giant freaking, just looks like a giant cup of tea.
They actually did show the swimming pool in the Two Doctors with Colin Baker and oh god, Patrick Troughton, if memory serves. I remember seeing it. I've never actually watched the Two Doctors all the way through though, but you know they have actually shown the swimming pool and stuff. It's the thing is with the TARDIS is that it changes itself. It's very fluid in its design. It's because it's like super alien technology. They did an episode fairly recently in the heart of the TARDIS. Have you got that far, Susie?
Sorry, what one?
They basically go to the very centre of the TARDIS, and it shows all the different areas of the TARDIS, like the library, and it's a huge Gothic cathedral of a library, and all this other stuff.
I've not got to that yet.
I will not spoil it then.
It's okay. The last one I'll say was that I watched was The Girl Who Waited. That's the last one I've seen
Oh,
today.
that's a beautiful episode.
Oh,
Which one's that?
It was making me cry.
That's the one where what's her freaking name? What's her name?
Amy, Rory, and the Doctor go into this like hospital sort of thing. Rory and the Doctor push one button, they go into a room. Amy pushes another button and goes into another room. And it's discovered that like this planet that you go on, Time Lords and oh god, what is it? Alpha, whatever the race is of people, they can die within a day because they get a plague that kills you within a day.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy ends up getting into a room where like the time is sped up by like a week. So they find out she's been there a week, and then if they discover that she's been in this room or in this place for 36 years, and they're trying to rescue her. And oh god,
It's a really
so
cool idea.
good.
At the end of the day, it's like the whole point of this place. It's a place where this person is going to die very soon, but
Yeah.
as a kindness, they are able to see their family and their children and their grandchildren and so on
Yeah.
before they die. But unfortunately, they get separated, and Amy ages, and then they try and rescue her, and there's all this, and it's handled really well. It's pretty freaking emotional.
It really was. I just loved
My
Amy's little.
feels.
I really loved Amy's little speech with kind of herself that she did, and it was just
Yeah.
kind of a. I'll be very soppy. It made me think of Elsie. I know. It was just very.
Oh.
I was just so. Don't cry, don't cry. But it did. It was perfect, and I thought it was one of the best episodes I've seen.
Mm.
It really was gorgeous.
So, Nicola, since you've not seen many episodes and everything, I don't want to derail the topic of the discussion because it's all about predictions and everything, but if you ever get the time, midnight, if you only ever see one other episode of Doctor Who...
Is that the one
midnight.
with the little darkness creatures that kind of get in the spacesuits?
No.
No?
This is one of... Instead of a Doctor Light episode, it's a Doctor Heavy episode. It's nothing but the Doctor, pretty much. It's and it's also got the son of Patrick Troughton, which is cool, playing a part. It's during the David Tennant era with Donna, Catherine Tate and the Doctor. Catherine Tate at the start and the end. It's basically the Doctor goes in a little camper van off on a trip, and something happens. It is possibly the best David Tennant story. It's freaking good. I don't want to say too much about it. Midnight. So I don't know whether the chat will agree with me or not if it's a good one, but I
I
personally
think I may have seen this one.
Hmm.
That was.
And
good.
sorry, lady, yeah, you
No,
first.
I was just saying that Donna for me is the best companion. So anything with Donna and David Tennant, I loved.
You just like
Yeah,
her because
I
she's
actually
Scottish.
I sent.
Which,
a
by the way,
picture
if
to
you,
LC.
which by the way, honey, if you only like her because she's Scottish, you should have to watch the second Doctor, right? Had the Scottish guy
No.
running around with the
Yeah,
kilt.
Jamie.
No. Dawn is not Scottish. It's Donna's Catherine Tate. Amy's the Scottish one.
Ah, okay,
Mhm.
sorry.
To be honest, Catherine Tate as a companion actually saved her for me because I cannot stand Catherine Tate as a comedian.
Me too.
Yeah,
She's a terrible
likewise.
comedian, but in the,
She's a horrible comedian.
but when
And
she's
most of her jokes are very poor taste.
when she's having someone else writing for
Yeah,
her,
but that's
she is
that's
fucking brilliant.
that's also another that's an argument for another day. Like an actor playing a role versus an actor versus their own material.
Well, you see, she writes her own comedy, so
Yeah, but
She's not a
she
good
wasn't
writer.
writing. She wasn't writing for the show, so
Now,
Yeah, she wasn't really
Elsie,
Doctor Who, thank fuck.
yeah. Oh, well, Elsie, I don't think you used the clip because I sadly came in pretty late to the show itself. But did you see the clip I sent you of the quiz show that
Yes,
they
I
were
actually
in?
have that. I was going to save that for next week when we
Okay.
actually follow up this episode, where we follow up this
Mm.
episode with our reactions to the 50th episode.
Well, for
See,
the
this
UK
is a three-parter.
people,
This is going to be a three-part episode.
yeah.
For all
Well,
you
for the
people watching on
UK
YouTube.
people and everything, all I need to say is, never mind the Buzzcocks with Catherine Tate. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, I love the Buzzcocks. Believe me, I love a Buzzcock every fucking. You need a true man needs a Buzzcock every few days, every
You
once
have
in a
no
while.
idea what Never Mind the Buzzcocks
No.
is, do you?
He doesn't.
He
Have a
doesn't.
clue.
Listen.
We're
It's
talking
a
about
music
the
show.
girl using a vibrator on you, right?
No.
Only on the weekends. Oh, it's weekend.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
English to
different-
British
different
on
topic.
translation. Sorry, but
Yeah, it's a music show
let's
and
round
they
this
did
one
a
up.
boxing special.
Let's
But yeah.
everyone let's round this one up. We gave some good predictions, our thoughts on what's going to happen, and my real question is, who do you think? Do you think any other doctors other than Tennant is going to show up tonight, or show up on the 50th?
I think so.
DeVille, you take the floor. Do you think there's possible?
Yes, it's very possible. Like I said, they've been very good at bait and switch in the past few years, and with the Paul McGann thing, I actually think they blew their load too early. They should have saved showing that clip for either Children in Need or as the actual start to the 50th anniversary. But having it on his birthday was pretty awesome, because that was Paul McGann's
Yeah.
birthday when they aired it. So, kudos.
Oh, you know that's the reason why they showed it.
Anything is possible, literally anything. And I have noticed that Colin Baker and I believe Sylvester McCoy, Doctors number 6 and 7, they have been doing regular tweets about something.
They were pictures outside the BBC studios
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up because I know
Yes.
the British version of TMZ, whatever the British version of TMZ is. I know they have been leaking photos of former doctors actually entering the frickin' studio, or at least around the general area of the BBC studio.
Yeah, so there's going to be something.
So I want to see
it's
Colin
gonna be
Baker.
interesting.
I think Colin Baker is going to come in because there's a one scene in one of the trailers where they show this freaking long hallway and this dark figure, and you can almost see a scarf around the freaking guy walking through the backlight.
You're thinking of Tom Baker there,
Tom
number 4.
Baker.
but
Sorry,
yeah,
I
yeah,
always get
yeah.
the
It's
fucking
cool, it's
Bakers
cool.
mixed up.
Insert your own joke about Baker's dozen. But, yeah.
Hey, I'm not the one who casts
I
a
used to be
Baker
stand-up comedian,
right after a
by the way,
Baker.
and one show, never again.
But there's that
Well,
one scene where they show like this tunnel and there's this heavy backlit freaking hallway, and you see this guy walk into the hallway, and you can almost see a scarf, and you see his hair, and it almost looks big and curly like freaking Baker. I think I want to say, I want to hope for. I hope there is more doctors than just freaking Tennant.
Yeah, it's like TWK said, bring Eccleston in. And yes, I love McCoy. Anybody is fine. He only wants actors who actually look like they're not falling apart, like they're not geriatric, because it's like, oh, it's undignified to wheel this elderly actor out and
Yeah, but
stick
you're
him
talking-
in the costume and da-da-da-da.
Yeah, but also Moffat has also been very, very public and also saying that I lie to the fucking press to keep
This is
secrets. He even
is a massive
said.
troll.
He even said. I know for the teaser, the prequel teaser with freaking the Eighth Doctor. I know, or sorry, yeah, the Eighth Doctor. I know he was asked previously in an interview if there was any chance to see the Eighth Doctor reappear.
Yeah,
And he basically said no.
yeah.
No. And what they ended up doing to get that scene, to get that video done, they waited to the last 2 days of filming, and actually they called cut and print on the episode. They called cut and print on the episode of the 50th anniversary, and then used 2 more days to secretly smuggle in the actors, and basically worked on a skeleton crew for that once, just so they can keep it quiet as possible.
Mm-hmm. And it works.
So I don't believe Mofet. I don't believe Mofet in anything he says at this point.
You shouldn't. He's a lying monster. We loves him, but we hates him. It's
Hi,
like...
Colin.
And I'm fine with this fact. I'm fine. Lie to me. Keep it a surprise.
Yes.
Because when I saw that tweet come out from BBC Doctor Who, and it said, watch this, et cetera, a prequel to Day of the Doctor, I was just like, okay, here's another trailer. I'm not even going to pay attention. And I saw Twitter explode, and I was just like, why is everyone talking about the 8th Doctor? Alright, what the fuck's this video? Oh, sweet Mary Mother of fucking God!
It's like, oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
At the end of the day, that's why trying to make predictions is kind of pointless, to be honest, because it doesn't matter what we come up with. We can come up with all kinds of outlandish stuff, or Icelandic stuff. At the end of the day, we have no clue. I know. I slur my words.
Yeah.
It's going to be something interesting. It won't be boring in any stretch.
Oh, it's not going to be boring.
Like Hagen, I had very low expectations, but the whole Paul McGann thing really pulled the rug out from under me, from under all of us. So I'm just gonna watch the damn thing.
Okay, DeBillo, so we can finalize this final segment and just get your full opinions.
Okay.
What doctors would you just dream to be in this one? And I know you want to say everyone, but name 3 doctors that were not shown that you would dream to be in this.
I'll have to limit it to the ones who are alive, obviously.
Oh, of course.
Who've not been shown. We've already had Paul McGann, so he was my top one that I wanted. Sylvester McCoy. No offense to Peter Davidson, but Tom Baker and maybe Christopher Eccleston. Screw it, yes, Eccleston. Bring him back. Come on,
right.
It's no longer Davis.
I'm gonna say I got to do my own prediction on this, but I'm gonna say I think Eccleston might be involved, and I'm gonna give my reasons why later.
Yeah.
But Susie, what is your opinion? What doctors would you say would be your dream team? The ones who have not been shown yet, that might be a secret. Who would you want to see in this?
Eccleston, first of all, because he got me into it. Well, apart from Tennant, he was there, but Christopher Eccleston, because he was a big surprise. Sylvester McCoy, because I did not know that he used a Scottish accent in the fucking show, and I think I need to go and watch it now.
Remembrance of the Daleks. I did a review. My very first internet review was of my favourite Dalek story ever. I will link it.
Awesome. I will need to see that, because Sylvester McCoy, I actually liked him as an actor in a few other things. And,
Radagast the Brown. Oh my god, yes.
So I will need to give him a chance, and I know you said you wouldn't want to see it. I'd like to see Peter Davison in it. Again,
I have nothing against the guy, it's when you're limiting my choices.
Yeah. But that would be awesome to just have David Tennant and his father-in-law in the same episode.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
That's a whole other podcast episode, that.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, we've still got the Doctor. He's got a granddaughter flying around somewhere, and he's got a daughter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nicola, I know you've been mostly out of this conversation, but your dream team, who would you like to see to be in this 50th anniversary that has not been shown
I
yet?
can't even comment, really.
You have
I do know that the Doctors who've passed are getting revamped with new actors. Some with very
Nicholas, stop hitting your mute.
I'm not hitting mute. It's muting itself because I'm clicking my mouse.
For everyone who does
Insert
not
your own
know,
joke there.
Nicola has just bought a new microphone and she's still working out the technical issues.
Can you
Please
not hear
stand
me?
by.
We
Please
can hear
stand
you
by.
now.
Yeah, okay. No, what's happening is this is actually Google Plus doing this. I'm
Not helping.
It does. do
point
it.
in case I clicked my mouse and it's reading it as you are typing. Let us mute your mic.
Stop hitting the mouse.
I'm trying so hard to not make a dirty joke. Just take your fingers off it for just 2 minutes.
See, I wasn't even
I'm a
doing anything
porn
that
artist,
time
what
when
can I
it
do?
muted.
you could wait to watch the leprechaun porn for 10 minutes. Okay?
I'm actually bitten about in the nether, so yeah.
All right. So what would be your dream team?
Minecraft.
What is your dream team for doctors who could show up on this?
Well, I that one of the dead doctors is coming back with a new actor. So
Yeah,
with a
exactly.
bad accent. So
If they
Oh,
do a good job, that's fine.
Yeah, as long as it's a good, as long as it's a somewhat resemblable actor
Mm.
who can actually pull it off, I'm fine with it.
They did that already with the 5 Doctors because the first William Hartnell had sadly passed away at that point, so they got another actor to play the first Doctor, and he was fine. He did an okay job.
Wait, I thought that was actually the real Doctor
For the 5 Doctors, no.
Oh, I'm thinking of
No,
the
that was a
original.
different
I'm thinking
film.
of the original
The three Doctors,
three
yes.
doctors, because he was so sick at the time that they couldn't do nothing but sit him in a chair,
Yeah.
which is still a freaking amazing feat of freaking dedication to the show. That even on his deathbed, he would basically willing to freaking just come in the studio, sit in a chair, and do dialogue.
I know Doctor Who is kind of popular in America and everything. It's literally it's an institution here. It's almost like a way of like it's part of the cultural pride, you know. So
It
yes,
is.
and it kind of always has been. I mean, in the '60s and everything, you know, Dalek Mania. I mean, you think it's popular now. In the early 1960s, when it first came out, people were going fucking mental for Daleks and all this other stuff. I mean, that was why the flipping Peter Cushing movies were made, not because of Doctor Who, but because of the Daleks.
Honestly, that would actually. You brought up Peter Cushing, and that would actually bring up a good, funny fucking storyline. If they could actually add Peter Cushing's storyline into the mythology,
Oh,
it
well,
would have
the
to be
Time
done
Lord.
very well. But I'm fine with the 2 Doctor Who films being on a standalone and not in canon. But it would be funny if they actually could actually add Peter Cushing in as a
They could
doctor.
also add Curse of the Fatal Death with Rowan Atkinson and
20 other different actors.
Hey, they even reference the fact that the Doctor can be female, and I'm okay with a female Doctor.
Yeah.
Give me a female Black Doctor.
Mhm.
Yes,
If it's a joke, I am fine with it, but please don't do that fucking in canon.
I know. Well, they.
I'm
won't.
not saying
They
that there
won't.
a black female actor cannot actually play the Doctor, but let's just face it, it
They already
wouldn't
did it in the
look
audio
right. It
stuff,
wouldn't
but-
feel right.
I know it wouldn't be the same, Joe. It'd be too much, you know. But in another 50 years, they might do that.
Unless you get a good woman to play it. Like, I had Sue Perkins pop in my head if they were picking a female doctor. I thought she would actually be
Yes.
really good. Sue Perkins.
It took me a moment to figure out who.
Yeah.
You know what? That is a woman who her career, sadly, is. It just feels like it's been shafted. You know, it's like she should be a lot more successful than she is.
Oh, she's
I'm
great.
trying to think who that is.
If you've seen the Great British Bake Off, it's Mel and Sue that host that. And Sue
Yeah, they were
Perkins
like
is
a
the, woman with the
female.
black hair.
They were basically the female Reeves and Mortimer
Yeah.
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
So we can end this little episode Let me.
Happy to talk for another 5 hours, but
I know. I think most of us would be, but all right. Dream doctors. I would love to see in it. I'm gonna have to say first off, Eccleston. I know I'm gonna get proven wrong. I know it's not gonna happen, but I have this strange feeling that Eccleston is going to show up at least for anything at the end of the fucking episode to basically regenerate from John Hurts into Eccleston. I'm thinking Eccleston. He's been almost too tongue in cheek and saying no, fuck you. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. He seems almost a little too tongue in cheek saying he's not doing it. So Eccleston's definitely in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tom Baker. I want to see Tom Baker. I want to see Colin Baker. Honestly, I would like to see them all, but for realistic reasons, I know that ain't gonna happen, but I would just love to see every doctor that has ever lived. It's the 50th. It's the 50th anniversary. Let all the doctors, let all the actors come back and do something. Let them all have fun. Let them just, even if it's just a small background shot and a cameo, let them do it. Let them have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure he's still alive. Ian, the very first male from 1963. Because he watches.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, the one thing I was going to say very briefly, it's tangential, like in about 2003, they did some webcasts where they took audio and they animated it and so on and so forth. It was like a flash animation. That was a friend of the family who did that, who did all the artwork for that. A fellow artist by the name of Steve Mayer, who went on to work for Cosgrove Hall. He did a load of Discworld cartoons as well. And he also was involved in the CG animation of Doctor Who, the Dreamland thing. And they also did a pirate thing as well. So they've done a few Doctor Who animations. A lot of people hated Scream of the Shalka, but that was the non-canon 9 Doctor played by Richard E. Grant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh God!
And you just bring up so many
stream
freaking
died.
questions because now I want to ask like what former companions we could see, but we'll save that for next week.
Not Turlo.
We'll save that for next week because this is actually technically going to be a 3-parter on YouTube. Live stream it's going to be a
trilogy.
2-week show. Because next week I'd like to get everyone together again after we watch the 50th anniversary to give our summary of what we thought of it.
I will not be in the same location, but they have a computer. Hopefully they won't mind me because I'm stopping over. So hopefully I can stay up even later. But hopefully they won't mind me using their machine.
Well, if you're
If not, I will be
DeVille,
watching the stream.
if you're available, you got an open
Always
spot.
available for you, baby.
Oh God, I love when you talk dirty. And Nicola could be bored again. Susie could be squealing like a pig because she fucking just saw David Tennant and Matt Smith together.
I do. And I will say, as of 3:30 a.m. at the moment, I have 19 episodes to go. I will get through them.
You'll get
Watch
through them this
Twitter.
week.
Good
I will
luck.
get
I
through them.
envy you. I envy you, lady, getting to watch it all together.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
But
Be awesome.
we're gonna save our conversation for next week when we actually discuss what actually happened in the 50th anniversary and
it's gonna be
our
good.
discussion of our thoughts on the 50th anniversary. So, night everyone.
Take care, kids.
Night.
And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And
May I
join us
plug
every Saturday night
myself?
live and join us every Saturday night live. Night everyone.
You
Yes, ma'am.
are an enemy
No problem
of
for
the
you.
Daleks.
Okay.
You must be destroyed.